This week, OpenAI found itself at the center of global attention for all the wrong reasons. The long-awaited GPT-5 launch disappointed many, GPT-6 sparked outrage over adult content, and a scientific misstep left experts laughing. Meanwhile, Google quietly made a powerful comeback. It's a week that may define the future of AI and the credibility of the companies shaping it. Let's break down everything that happened. When OpenAI launched GPT-5 in August, expectations were sky high. People imagined a massive leap forward, something that would redefine what artificial intelligence could do. Instead, the launch left many underwhelmed. The live demo was filled with awkward pauses, incorrect data charts, and performance hiccups that made even loyal fans uneasy. What was supposed to be a celebration of progress turned into a public relations problem. Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, later admitted that the vibes at launch were bad, but he claimed things improved once people started using GPT-5 in real-world settings. Inside OpenAI, employees described the model as a true research partner, a system that doesn't just summarize information but actively helps scientists and engineers move their work forward. That's a bold claim, but the public wasn't convinced. For most users, GPT-5 didn't feel dramatically smarter than GPT-4. It was faster, cheaper, and smoother, but the difference wasn't revolutionary. Many critics, including AI researcher Gary Marcus, argued that OpenAI had overpromised. He said the grand ideas of artificial general intelligence and PhD-level reasoning still hadn't arrived. To him, GPT-5 felt like an upgrade, not a breakthrough. Greg Brockman, OpenAI's co-founder, defended the release. He explained that the improvements weren't about using more data or bigger chips, but rather about how the model learned from humans. Reinforcement learning from human feedback, he said, played a much larger role this time. And Mark Chen, another OpenAI scientist, offered a perspective that most people missed. He revealed that in math-heavy environments, GPT-5's reasoning had jumped from average to world-class, ranking among the top 5 in simulated math competitions. This detail impressed scientists but didn't matter much to the average user writing emails or editing documents. To most people, the model just didn't feel next generation. Still, Altman stood firm. He promised that GPT-6 would be significantly better than 5, and GPT-7 would go even further. That kind of confidence kept the hype alive. But then came the real controversy. When OpenAI announced its plan to relax content restrictions in GPT-6, things got messy fast. The company revealed that verified adults would soon be allowed to access and generate sexually explicit text under certain safeguards. Supporters called it a step toward user freedom, treating adults like adults while keeping minors safe. But critics saw it as a moral shift, accusing OpenAI of chasing engagement and profit at the cost of ethics. Advocacy groups warned that this decision could lead to serious problems, from emotional dependency on AI chatbots to privacy risks. They pointed out that even with strict rules, systems like these are easy to exploit. Every country also defines adult content differently, which means one global policy could easily offend cultural or legal norms elsewhere. Inside OpenAI, the goal was framed differently. The company claimed this was about personalization and choice, letting people decide how human they want their AI to sound. But many experts weren't convinced that such fine-tuning could truly control the emotional and psychological effects of synthetic intimacy. As the debate over GPT-6's new content rules grew louder, OpenAI found itself walking a very thin line between innovation and responsibility. The company said it wanted to give users more freedom, but critics argued it was opening the door to potential harm. Privacy advocates warned that if ChatGPT became a platform for adults to share intimate conversations, OpenAI would end up holding some of the most sensitive data imaginable. That kind of information would require extreme protection, advanced encryption, strict internal controls, and rapid response systems for any security breach. Ethics researchers raised a deeper concern. They explained that AI systems trained to always sound polite and agreeable often end up over-agreeing with users. In normal conversations, that might seem harmless. But in emotionally or sexually charged contexts, it could reinforce unhealthy behavior or even dangerous beliefs. On the other hand, some women and vulnerable users argued that a controlled, text-only environment could feel safer than interacting with strangers online. This revealed a complex truth. Safety and freedom can't always exist in perfect balance. Europe's AI regulators quickly joined the conversation. They warned that even the best safety systems can be bypassed through jailbreaking, where users find creative ways to make AI break its own rules. For a company already under scrutiny, that meant higher moderation costs and faster response times. OpenAI conducted an internal review using over 500 prompts across a wide range of sensitive topics. The goal was not to make ChatGPT pick sides, but to measure how easily the model's tone or framing could drift depending on the user's input. The results were surprising. The team found that under strong liberal-leaning prompts, the model tended to shift tone and opinion more than it did with equally strong conservative ones. That imbalance created a perception problem. A manager at OpenAI posted that GPT-5 had solved several of Paul Erdős's famous mathematical problems. Experts like Thomas Bloom and Terence Tao called it a misunderstanding, not a miracle. They clarified that GPT-5 had simply found existing proofs buried deep in academic literature. GPT-5 wasn't inventing math. While OpenAI struggled with public criticism, Google was quietly preparing its counterattack. At Salesforce's annual conference, CEO Sundar Pichai finally addressed what happened back in 2022, when ChatGPT first took the world by storm. He admitted that Google had similar technology in development but held it back. Overnight, Google's leadership redirected entire teams to fast-track their own large language model project, Gemini. Pichai announced that Gemini 3.0 is on the way, supported by new in-house chips, global data centers, and what he called the largest AI investment outside the United States, built in India. Meanwhile, OpenAI's roadmap is under intense pressure. Every announcement, every demo, and every tweet now faces microscopic scrutiny. The botched GPT-5 launch left a lasting impression that the model is faster and cheaper, but not necessarily smarter. That perception has become a heavyweight on the company's reputation. Even small mistakes, like the Erdős math claim, now feel amplified, feeding a growing narrative that OpenAI sometimes moves faster than it verifies facts. Then there's the policy challenge. The upcoming GPT-6 release isn't just about performance. It's a test of trust. Can OpenAI truly balance adult freedom with digital safety? Can it moderate intimate or emotional content across hundreds of cultures without causing global backlash? Those are not engineering problems. They're human ones. And as the company expands its user base, it must prove that it can manage both ethics and innovation at scale. Sam Altman remains confident, insisting that GPT-6 will be far better than 5 and GPT-7 even more capable. But this time, the world isn't just watching the technology. It's watching the leadership, the judgment, and the integrity behind it. The next launch will decide not only how powerful AI becomes, but how much the public still believes in the people building it. OpenAI's story this week is a reminder that progress always comes with pressure. Speed can impress, but trust is earned slowly. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe for more clear, fact-based stories about the world of AI and technology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.